my personal history with Central Asia goes back even to 1994. Yeah, so I joined, let's say, the research and development work for the water sector in Central Asia since shortly after the, let's say, start of independence of the countries in Central Asia. So that feeds, let's say, my experience on what happened in the recent past to the water sector, the transboundary aspects of the water sector in Central Asia, and how that could be assessed in the, let's say, in the current situation. Yeah, it's the lead problem for the water sector in Central Asia is that after independence, each state really started to develop their own agenda. Yeah, be it agendas for food production, irrigated agriculture preferably, be it agendas for hydropower production and feeding the international energy market in the region. That is basically the nucleus of the problems that play a predominant role in water allocation within and between states in Central Asia for now. This situation is considered of importance, great importance I would say, by both the local, regional communities and governments and the international community. And it's obvious that in order to deal with those problems, you need a very good insight in both, let's say, the technical aspects of water allocation and how that plays a role, for example, against climate change for the near future. You should know that we're talking about a very dry area with, most of it is desert. And let's say that the water supply, therefore, is coming mainly from the glaciers in the mountains of the Himalaya system, I would say. Yeah. So, water scarcity, water allocation, climate change, those are among the main technical aspects of, let's say, how to deal with the water sector in Central Asia. And then next to this, of course, is the, let's say, socio-economic political dimension with each nation having to deal with its own development aspects after independence. All countries, with the exception of Kazakhstan maybe, are facing still major development, socio-economic, economic development problems, and of course their water plays an important role. Both on a national level and an international level. So the let's say the interest of the international community with the problems of Central Asia, not just the water sector but even more in general, was the main reason why we were allowed to organize this roundtable that we just came about to finish. Yeah, so the main aspects that we have dealt with in this roundtable is really how to come, let's say, to more parallel or coordinated agendas for future water management in the Aral Sea basin. Yeah, and this was also obvious from the presentations, both by Sokolov, by IGRAC, and the one by myself. You cannot deny the fact that in Central Asia we are confronted with a water scarcity situation, and that requires organizing, arranging, let's say, a good coordination between the main stakeholders, the countries, the organization, or even the sectors such as agriculture and hydropower, energy production of the region. So that is where, for example, also my contribution to the roundtable focused. A lot of work has been done in the recent years, let's say, to come to concepts and tools for improved water allocation. An important one, for example, is the development of a joint database in Central Asia by the Scientific Information Center of the Interstate Water Commission. That is well functioning, and that is of very good use for, let's say, in support to management decisions on water allocation in the basin. In line with this development, another tool, for example, is the Aral Sea Basin Management Model. Yeah? Models that we can use to analyze, let's say, and manage the water allocation throughout the season, or even in a multi-year setting, are important in support to, let's say, making the right decisions on who is getting what at what price. Yeah, and the management models, integrated management models, I should say, try to serve both sides, both the hydraulic one, and the socio-economic, more political, economy-driven one. And so that is what we have, let's say, explained and discussed during this roundtable, including, and that is a major important issue, including, let's say, the really geopolitical situation in Central Asia. Should not forget that Central Asia really is on the area where you are going from east to west, yeah. So to the east you find China, to the northwest you find Russia, to the bit further away west you find Europe, and all these regions, all these, let's say, spheres of influence are of importance to the Central Asia region. That is what we have mentioned also in this roundtable. So we realize that solving water problems under conditions of water scarcity in Central Asia is not just a technical matter. It is not even a plain diplomatic matter. It is something that is dependent on how we look at new geopolitical issues and priorities in a region like Central Asia. That's why we have also mentioned important projects such as the Rogun Dam, and the role that international financing agencies such as the World Bank play in both infrastructure maintenance, infrastructure improvement, as well as capacity development. And so another very important conclusion to this roundtable is that you really need new capacities to deal with these transboundary aspects of water management in Central Asia. You need to create both, let's say, a new scientific capacity with the universities, the institutions that play a role in water allocation, and also, let's say, in water leadership. Yeah, so among the planners, the decision makers at various levels as well. And so that is one of the main, let's say, conclusions of this roundtable for follow-up also. Yeah, so what we need to do is try to stimulate, decide and plan on how to develop, let's say, and better use the water infrastructure there, but at the same time run a capacity development supported by research program for improvement of the capacity of the science and research community, as well as new water leadership for the future in Central Asia. That, I would say, in a nutshell, is where the main problems lie, and that is also what we will see, let's say, as lead issues towards new programs of cooperation for improved integrated water resources management in Central Asia in the near future.